Hello, this is S.K. Williams, and today I would like to talk to you about regret. Sometimes we wish to go back. We regret our lives and our choices and wish we had done differently. And while we attempt to make ourselves feel better, saying that things worked out for the best the way they are, or what happened to us was perhaps for a greater purpose, or perhaps even that it helped us learn and become better people. Perhaps. Sometimes there's this persistence, this nagging, this desire to go back, this desire to set right what once went wrong, this desire. And for some of us, it can be very overwhelming. It is of those desires that I speak today. A desire, a yearning, a hope, an aspiration of the past, not the future. To go backwards and not forwards. Not simply to regret and wallow and to live in the past, but to literally live in the past. To go back, to change what was. Oh, what a dream it would be to do so. And yet also a terror. For the power to control the past would definitely be one of the most damning and destructive ones that could possibly be known. And yet, it could also be one of the most beneficial and creative, if used selectively, making slight alterations here or there to improve the world, to improve history, to improve time. And yet, we would have to be careful, for some things, even as dark and terrible and awful as they are, were necessary not just to ourselves but to others. And therein lies the great paradox. How do we know if we were to change history, it would be better? And yet, even knowing this, some would go, some would stand, some must stand and go to the past. And yet for now we have those living in that silent desperation of Thoreau, wishing for the past. As it grows more and more distant away, it creates a deeper and deeper longing, and therein lies their great hope. A hope of history, a hope of the past, a hope for times unknown, and yet known so intimately. Some simply because they think, if I knew then what I knew now, I would have made different choices, and some say, I already knew better, and I knew I was making the wrong choice, but I just made the wrong choice anyway, and I don't know why. And it is in sorrow, for they feel they should have made the other choice. Not just should because it was a mistake not to. Not just should have done something different because of the ramifications that they later learned. Not just should because they knew it was wrong at the time. Not just should because of guilt, but should because it was how the world was to work. Not just them. They knew that what they did was wrong, not simply morally or ethically or simply because it would give them a bad result, but that it was not what was supposed to be. And that can eat away at the very soul. And that, dear friends, is a longing, I fear, that cannot be properly understood by those who have not had it. A desire that cannot easily be articulated, and a desire to go back, not because one knows more now than one did past, not simply because one made mistakes, not simply because one knew what one was doing was wrong but did it anyway out of some sort of selfish desire, but because one feels that it is wrong what happened, that it's not what was meant to be, and yet that may create the reason why it happened. What if, for instance, a man were to travel through time, back to his own past, back to his younger days, to make that better choice? And what if, dear listener, what if that time traveler made the wrong choice, not out of selfish desire, not out of ignorance? But what if he is correct that it was the wrong choice for history itself, and that was not what was meant to be, but it was meant to be, for he was meant to be a time traveler to set it right? What if that indeed the case, the great paradox of a time traveler? Dear friends, I ask then to pray to God in such desires and such thoughts, and ask for the great guidance of that great Spirit that doth govern all eternity. And in him we go, do we not, to cycle on, and forward, and forward, and ever forward. For that, then, I have said all I need to say. And now I take my leave of you. Thank you, God bless, and goodbye.